on, guys? I'm John Armwood here, representing Sh3gotgame. I'm here with the number 5 player in the country and the number 1 point guard in all the country as well. How are you, Hanna Hidalgo?
I'm good. I thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for making some time. We got a lot to get to here. Just yesterday evening, you committed to Notre Dame. Congratulations to you and your family. We got a lot to get to here, but before we dive into your background and stuff like that about who Hanna Hidalgo is, I do want to ask you, what do you recall as your Sh3gotgame moment?
I would say my Sh3gotgame moment was at the Summer Classic. I say my between the legs lip. I think that was my Sh3gotgame moment.
Really? Why was that? If you don't mind me asking, just elaborate on. Was it the where it was at, who it was on?
I think it was it was like all of that, like where it was at, being at Rucker Park, like a legendary, court and everything, like the atmosphere, like all the people around, like the energy was just different. And to be able to, I guess, do what I did through contact in front of like all those people was just, just my moment.
It was an amazing play, by the way. I know exactly what you're talking about. Through the legs, I believe it was featured on ESPN the following morning and stuff like that. So really, really exciting time. Really exciting time. Thank you for sharing that. So a lot of people understand and know you're from Jersey, right? And Jersey is a pretty big state. We got South Jersey, we got North Jersey. Some people consider Central Jersey. Where are you originally from in Jersey?
Pensacola, New Jersey, like South Jersey, near like Cherry Hill Mall. Like anybody asks, that's kind of where I tell them I'm from, like near Cherry Hill Mall, like 5 minutes away from Cherry Hill Mall.
For people who don't know Cherry Hill Mall, that's like near in that Trenton area and kind of like that. She's not too far probably from Rowan, stuff like that, Rowan University, landmarks like that. If you don't mind me asking, who or what inspired you, to pick up a basketball, like as a young child?
Yeah, I would say like my parents kind of really introduced me to the game, kind of really inspired me. I guess they saw the talent that God placed in me from a very young age, and they just went with what they were seeing. And all my brothers play basketball. I really grew up around basketball, with boys playing basketball, parents coach basketball and everything. So they really introduced me to the game because when I was younger, I didn't want to do it. I wasn't really with it, but I started to find a love for the game once I started scoring.
Yeah. I mean, once you see the ball go in the hoop a few times, lightens you up. Would you say, I want to ask you, what would you say, what part of the game came the most natural to you?
I would say, my defense. My defense was like there from when I was younger, like 3rd, 4th grade. Just like when I started kind of really taking defense seriously, like that was just came most natural.
Gotcha. Now, I want to say, because like a lot of people could see in your commitment video, you do bring a lot of swagger, you do bring a lot of energy, right? When you're playing, many people recognize, your passion, your swag and confidence, right? Where would you say that stems from, in your experiences and in your life?
I say it really kind of grew on me. I know growing up, my family, cousins, mom, dad, everybody talked trash. So, I kind of had to stick up for my own because everybody was always talking trash. So I had to learn kind of like, hey, I got to say for myself. I got to be able to kind of get tough and kind of bring this energy, talk a little trash here and there and stuff like that. So I guess kind of just stemmed from my family.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I want to, is your family, do they kind of embrace your energy? Is it always, is it always highly competitive around the house, stuff like that? Is it a highly competitive family?
It's always on go. I mean, when we play two in the backyard, everybody's just going at it. I mean, we had like cut lips, just bleeding, all this. My mom's always on the sidelines talking smack, and I mean, we just have a good time. I mean, but we're always pushing each other. We're always challenging each other. We're always competing with each other. I know on Christmas we have games, and if you win, you get like gift cards and stuff like that. And obviously, most of the games, so it's always competitive in here.
Nice. All right. I mean, hey, look, it feeds your motor. last year, I want to touch on, you performed in the Olympics and stuff like that. Last year, you performed in the U17 FIBA World Cup, correct?
Yep. Well,
This past summer, excuse me. So, while in Hungary, excuse me, what was the most eye-opening experience while, you were representing your country?
I would say just recognizing that I'm only one of 12 girls to kind of represent my country when it's uh, thousands of basketball girls that would love to be kind of in that position, kind of traveling all over the country and like all over the world, just kind of playing and representing their country. So I mean, it was kind of just so surreal to me to be just one of 12 girls to kind of wear that jersey on my back.
Congratulations, by the way. That's a huge honor, and I know a lot of people, they hold that honor as a really high on a pedestal to be able to represent your country at the highest level. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you. You guys came home. You brought the gold back.
Yes, we did.
So way to go, way to go. So from here, I want to transition to the question everyone wants to know. Right? It just happened yesterday. Many were surprised, and I want to get to it, man. What led you to committing to Notre Dame? Or what stood out about Notre Dame versus your other schools and your other top choices?
I would say the biggest thing that really stood out to me was kind of their family environment. I know like just how tight knit the players were with each other and also with the coaches. I know having that relationship with my head coach is really big for me. So kind of I saw that I could have that relationship with Niel, and that's what like really stood out to me like among all the schools was just kind of how family oriented like everything is. Like I want to have a family away from my family when I leave. I want to go to another family. Not just I want to be able to be somewhere where I'm happy, even if God forbid I get hurt and stuff like that. So I feel like I could do that at Notre Dame.
Unreal, unreal. So you were looking for. It sounds like you were looking for more something extensive than the actual game of basketball.
Yeah, yeah, like beyond basketball. I feel like for me, it's more than basketball. Someone's gonna have my back for years to come, and obviously all the coaches say they're gonna have your back for many years to come. But I really see, she was just there from kind of the jump, and she's always been consistent. I mean, kind of what you see is what you're gonna get. So it was just something different.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you don't mind me asking, what's your personal relationship, as well as possibly your professional relationship with Notre Dame head coach Jane Ivey?
She like I don't really know how kind of like outside of the recruitment process, but I know that she was always there. She was always consistent. She was always recruiting me hard. She always showed that she cared. All the assistant coaches came to my games and came to practices and stuff like that. So they were always there from the jump, and that's what like really stood out to me. I know a couple other schools were always a lot on the phone with me, but like I didn't like come out and travel to come and watch me play, and they were there constantly. And she kind of just gave off this like different vibe. Like I said, like what you see is what you're gonna get. Like she's just a genuine person, real big players coach.
I mean, it's a fair assumption. I mean, a lot of things around Jane Ivey and a lot of people who are around her, that's one of her biggest traits or characteristics that they like to describe. She seems extremely genuine, and a lot of people naturally attract to her because of it.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, how do you believe as a coach she can help you elevate to the next level or elevate your game to the next level?
They call that university guard university, and it's a lot of guards that kind of went through that school. She's been where I'm trying to go, and I have a lot of faith, and I believe in where she can bring me, and the coaches that are also surrounding her, and kind of how they can help me, and what they can do for me. So I just have faith.
Absolutely. At this point, I think it's safe to say Notre Dame is becoming a Jersey pipeline, right? I think there's a ton of talent. There's a ton of you got the Mabry sisters there. I believe one of the older sisters is an assistant coach currently. You got a former feature. Sh3gotgame Olivia Miles. They're doing amazing things. She's a Jersey legend as well. So it just seems like it's becoming a real pipeline.
It is, absolutely. We see that with all the players that they recruit and stuff like that. There's a lot of Jersey kids there.
No doubt, no doubt. Just mentioned Olivia Miles a little bit. Does the idea of playing with, former Sh3gotgame feature and one of the best point guards in the country. Let's just be clear here. She's one of the best point guards in the country. Does possibly joining forces with Olivia Miles excite you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She has great basketball IQ, and she's just an unselfish player, and she's gonna get her, and she can get to the basket. She scores flashy guard, but like I'm excited. Like that backcourt is gonna be scary. I know a lot of people are like, do you really want to go play with her? She has the ball this amount of times in her hands and stuff like that. But this time, like they just don't want to see us win. Like they don't want to see that backcourt because that backcourt is gonna be scary. So it's just like you gotta kind of trust kind of what I'm putting together here and stuff like that, and I did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That backcourt is very dangerous at the moment. And speaking of, the team they're putting together and recruits and stuff they brought in, the class that you're a part of going to Notre Dame right now is pretty significant. It's pretty significant. You're joining forces with Cassandra Prosper, right? And you're joining forces also with Emma Rish, and she's Emma Rish, I believe is how you pronounce it. Did you seeing them commit and realizing, oh, I could be potentially playing with these great athletes, did that factor into your commitment at all?
When I saw it, I was like, man, this recruiting class is I mean, this is gonna be tough. I mean, now all three of us coming in as freshmen would just be kind of different. So that's kind of exciting, kind of seeing them come in. I would say they didn't play a part in my decision, but seeing them commit, just exciting to see.
Nice, 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 nice. So, I have to ask a personal question. Yesterday evening, as we stated prior, huge moment for you committing to Notre Dame, but how you went about it was in a very unusual fashion. You kind of trolled the other community. The other colleges and stuff like that, right? Which I thought was hilarious. A lot of people found it entertaining. So there's no harm, no foul. There's a bunch of people who do that. What made you come up with, essentially the trolling gimmick, to the other, universities and stuff like that?
It wasn't towards that in terms of other universities, but I was thinking, I'm like, what, I already kind of did a little teaser before, like with my commitment video. So you know what, I might as well just drag him. My parents are like, my brothers, they was like, nah, don't do that. Just you don't want to throw their hats and be disrespectful and stuff like that. Like, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just kind of play over the hats and maybe pick one up and look at it and put it down and just put the Notre Dame hat straight on. And I'm like, nah, like this will make it more entertaining. It'll get them more hype and stuff like that. It'll make them like, because everybody was like, oh, she's going here, she's going here. Everybody had different opinions. So it was it was funny, kind of picking up all the hats, putting them on, kind of taking them off. I thought it was hilarious.
I love the part when you freaking hopped in the stands and just started going crazy with all the people that came up with you. That was a good time.
Sit right here so that I'm gonna take the phone and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna show all you guys kind of getting hype with me. So that was fun. They did a great job. Shout out to my teammates and the football team and obviously the cheerleaders who were kind of there just hype me up, and also all the people, parents and family members who was just there getting hype with me. So that was a good time.
Super dope, man. Super dope. I had to know that personally. I know a lot of people out there wanted to know. That's exciting though, and it really only shows your character and how much you can bring to a team and bring to an atmosphere. So really exciting. Again, congratulations for committing, and hopefully everything regarding the Fighting Irish goes well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Fighting Irish, your head coach mentioned you in an article. They did an interview. They interviewed her and asked her about you, and she pretty much mentioned how like multi-dimensional you are, right? And in fact, she said you're lightning fast, and you bring tenacious defense. Like you bring tenaciousness on defense, right? On the defensive side of the ball, and you also have a scorer's mentality mixed in with the basketball IQ, which is, to be completely honest, a hell of a bag. That's a hell of a that's a hell of an attribute. I wanted to ask you, learning, watching your film and watching through your, your highlights, does the defensive side of the ball help fuel your offense and just your game in general?
Absolutely, 100%. I know I was taught, defense was championships. So um, my defense definitely fuels like myself, but also my teammates offensively. When we start getting defensive stops, it kind of discourages, the offenses, discourages the opponents. Like when I'm taking charges and I'm diving on the floor, that really kind of discourages the team. So, and it definitely brings energy to my team, and I know it definitely brings energy to me. Like I love diving on the floor and getting loose balls, getting steals and stuff like that. Like that part is definitely one of the most funnest parts. Taking charges and kind of getting the fans hype, getting my teammates hype. Like defense is plays just such a. It's like really like who I am. Everything that I do starts on defense.
I it's funny you say that because I think especially in this day and age and game, everyone wants to put the ball in the hoop, right? And you have prolific scorers all over the country, like legit some of the top notch scorers. And it's kind of I think it's really unique that, one, you prioritize and pride yourself in your defense.
Right.
Right. That's just off rip. That's a very different within itself. However, usually, people see a couple threes fall, then they're like, okay, and they start the game momentum, or maybe they assist a player here and there. You're saying like that steal is what gets your offense going, and it gets your team going. So I think that's extremely unique, and I think it'll bring a different aspect to that team and that offense.
Yeah, it definitely does. I know, like once we get a couple stops, we get a couple traps and kind of turn the ball over. When I'm doing stuff, I'm diving on the floor, and I bring that energy to my team. Now my teammates start diving on the floor, and that's something that they typically don't do. Now they're starting to do like other things. Like I know my PG, she like got the girl hit the ball off her leg. Now she's diving on the floor for a jump ball, and now she's getting everybody else hyped. So we just kind of feed off each other, which is something like amazing. Our chemistry is different.
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. I really do. I'm a lot of people have tried to make the NBA WNBA comparison of who Hanna Hidalgo is, right? And it's tough. It really is tough because there's not too many people with all these attributes and assets
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So ultimately, it's a compliment, right? It's a compliment. With that being said, is there any WNBA or NBA players you've ever tried to model your game after, or or take pieces and parts of, and then try to mold it into your game?
Yeah, I used to take bits and parts off of like a lot of players' games. I used to just watch highlights from tough guards like Kyrie Irving, Sharif Cooper, stuff like that. Eric McDonald. I was just watching kind of all their highlights, and Iverson. Just kind of watching like some super like elite guards and stuff like that. Just kind of taking different pieces of kind of their game and kind of mixing it in kind of with my game. I guess just adding my to it too. So that's really it.
Nice, 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 nice. I was gonna say, I mean, it's you named several few players, and they all seem outside of Irvin, outside of Kyrie, they all seem to be legitimate two ways,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes sense. It's just very telling within your game. So I do want to I want to transition slightly into the impact of basketball and stuff like that, right? With that being said, are there any experiences that taught you life lessons through the game of basketball that has stuck with you even to today, and you wish to stick with you going through life?
Yeah, I would say something that really had the biggest impact on me was USA.
Mm.
Like USA, it was different, and you really had to be mentally tough. Like you like with tryouts, and especially going away for a month away from your family, not being able to see them like at all. It was just something. And then even like if you're going through adversity, like it's nobody you could like look to. Like for me personally, like I can only look to God. Like that was it. Like I couldn't go to my family and be like, yo, like I'm not having it, like stuff like that. So all the adversity I was facing, like I had to kind of handle it like on my own, just kind of constantly stay in prayer because it was like I was by myself. So it really taught me how to be, mentally tough and kind of kind of persevere when like everything is kind of coming against me. So definitely USA played like USA played a major part in, my decision and kind of where I want to go play and stuff like that.
Amazing, amazing. You actually just mentioned persevering through tough times and stuff like that, right? Is there a saying or motto you like to tell yourself when you're going through those tough times?
I say the Bible says, God says He'll never leave us nor forsake us. So, I mean, in those tough times when I'm, going through stuff, all I have to do is cast my burdens on Christ, and He'll carry them. So that's kind of what I like to. Always Bible scriptures, really, what I like to.
Do you come from a religious family and stuff like that? It seems like you have a
Yeah,
religious background.
I grew up in a Christian household, but I became Christian because that's kind of what I want to do. Without God, I wouldn't be who I am. So it was my own decision. But yeah, I was growing around, Christian beliefs and stuff.
Nice. Okay. Hey, it's a great staple to have for sure. If you could have it your way, God forbid the ball drops and or whatever, basketball stops tomorrow. If you could have it your way, what would you want your legacy to be as a basketball player?
I would say I want people to know me as, someone who was hardworking, who was the first one in the gym and the last one to leave.
Okay.
And kind of someone, I guess, who other people kind of just like look up to, who model their game after, someone, who just does all the dirty work and has this type of like swagger about them, but is also like humble too. Not out here kind of blowing my own head up and stuff like that. So somebody who's humble and hardworking.
Do you ever, just to put in your mind, have you ever, wanted to leave an impact on possibly the generation below you? Or did you ever want to leave some remembrance of who Hanna Hidalgo is as a ball player in some facet?
Absolutely. I love when, kids come up to me and like, hey, can I get a picture and stuff like that? Like it definitely means a lot that I'm kind of impacting these like younger kids. I know younger me would never be like, oh wow, Anna's gonna be taking pictures with kids and the kids are gonna be like loving her and kind of like looking up to her. So it definitely means a lot. I always want to kind of leave an impact for like, the younger generation.
Nice. Cool. Now I wanna discuss a little bit about life after basketball, right? Just to get your perspective on certain things of that nature. As we understand the game of basketball will come to an end for everyone. This is
Yeah.
just how it goes, right? However, what do you hope to, learn and utilize from the University of Notre Dame to further your life and further your career?
Well, I know Notre Dame has a lot of connections, and obviously, when the ball stops bouncing, I love the game like so much. I don't want to go and kind of be at a place for like the rest of my life where I'm not happy and I kind of dread going into work all the time. I want to be able to go somewhere where, I love doing my job like every single day. And my mom's like, hey, you should go be a coach. Like you love the game. Like you don't have to go and sit in the cubicle for hours and hours a day and kind of, dread and stuff like that. You go do, what you love to do and the game and stuff like that. So, and even if I want to do something like business, something like that, I know, Notre Dame has those type of connections all over the world, like Notre Dame connections all over the world. So, I know I'll get the help that I need, like for whatever I want to do, anywhere that I want to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Notre Dame is a very prestigious university. They have a
Mhm.
great reputation, and have one of the best business schools, like you said, in the country, as well as just other aspects. They have one of the biggest networking, aspects in the country as well. Notre Dame it speaks for itself.
Mhm.
With that being said, for people at home who don't necessarily know Hanna Hidalgo outside of basketball, because the basketball world knows you, right?
Yeah.
For sure, especially after yesterday. Um, do you have specific interests or hobbies that not many people may know about?
Um, my people like to tell everybody I like to bake.
Okay.
I do a little baking every once in a while when I feel like it, but that's about it. Not too. Too much. I really just be in the gym, but I bake every here and there. You know, sweets are my weakness. A little food in general is my weakness. That's
Okay.
it.
Hey, ain't
Mm,
nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
like,
And, so I want to definitely, I want to cap this off with, because this has been amazing. This has been a great, discussion, and it's been a wonderful opportunity getting to know you. But, to conclude this interview, is there any advice, or just anything in general you like to leave with any of the younger generations, either boys or girls who may follow you, or resonate with your journey at all? Is there anything you would like to leave with them?
I'll say, continue to work hard. Even when adversity is kind of coming against you, like continue to persevere because there's always going to be adversity. It's always going to come, like it's inevitable. Like there's going to be adversity. So kind of being able to persevere and kind of push through, and you're going to have to go get your own because nothing's going to be handed to you. Like nothing was ever, just handed to me. I had to go kind of get it and, just work hard for it because, hard work beats talent when talent feels to work hard. It's definitely a saying that my dad always said to me growing up. So that's it.
I appreciate you again for your time. Here at She Got Game, we like to thank you again, Hannah, for, sitting down with us and chatting with us. And, we wish you all the best going forward.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me again. It was great being here.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.